Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tavis Leaf Glover, and today we're going to be doing another quick abstract painting. We're going to lay in the colors, make them nice and harmonized, and we're going to lay in a nice composition as well. We'll keep it simple, and we're going to move fast, so it's going to be less instruction and more painting. So maybe we'll get some new expressive marks and let that inspire the next painting. So let's get into it. I'm just going to lay in this blue real quick. We've got the base layer and the modeling paste already dry. You can see there. If you haven't seen other videos, I'll put that on the screen real quick so you guys can see what that looks like. Just adds a nice texture and allows us to create some interesting color combinations sometimes when we scrape into the blue layer. We'll see how it evolves though. I'm just going to do this real quick though. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas of colors you want me to work with. See if we can harmonize certain colors or certain shapes, anything like that. Let me know in the comments how you guys are liking this stuff. You know, so I like to help out. Little finger smudges never hurt anything, right? Some nice grays will always accentuate any colors you have on your canvas. So you can see this grayish pink right here is accentuating this red that's on there. We'll see if we can keep some of that red underlayer. We'll see how it works out. Just want this horizon line nice and soft. Let me brush in all this stuff. Any areas that I kind of like this area here, so I'll keep that for now. Just brush this, make it nice and soft. We want some depth, so that horizon line has to be nice and soft. Get this in here. I like that area with the red showing through. See if we can keep some of that. I don't want this too thick either, so I'm gonna scratch the design into it. Just brushing in real soft, filling in these little holes so they don't create distractions, so I don't need them all. Now I can work on these edges more. If you do a nice quick brush stroke across that dry canvas, you'll get some textures like this. Even on the paint, you'll get textures right there. That look pretty nice. I'm just gonna finger smudge some of this in here, see how it looks. I got a lot of white. I didn't cover the whole canvas. See, I got a little white down here. I'm gonna try and cover that up. Just finger smudge over it. Why not, right? Now I'm gonna keep this composition simple, so we'll definitely use the dynamic symmetry grid. That promotes a lot of design techniques. And then we'll add a nice small triangle here, probably. And just maybe throw in an arabesque to create some movement. We'll see. I'm trying to show you guys simple compositions so you get your feet wet a little bit. Dip your big toe in the water instead of, you know, being terrified of it. It's real simple stuff. If you can draw a triangle on a piece of paper, you can align dots to it. That's all we're doing. Don't overthink this kind of stuff. Pretty easy to do. Just gotta take one step at a time. All right, I'm squinting and I'm gonna finger rub this area. Want a nice low contrast, nothing too crazy standing out, you know. This stands out a lot, but we'll fix that as we do the water. Good finger smudge a little bit. This over here. All right, let's get into the design techniques. Just gonna run it real quick. In the last video, I showed you how you can make that center line, the vertical and horizontal center lines, to help guide you as you draw the grid. So I'll do that real quick and show you how I do it. Diagonals should meet that center point there, but I'm skipping over it. Let's go corner to corner. I can wipe over that. And then intersect at 90 degrees, create that T. And since this is a 4/3 grid, this is a 4/3 ratio, this 12 by 9 canvas. 12 divided by 9 is 1.333, and that's the ratio of the 4/3 grid. 4 divided by 3 is 1.333. So, little simple math, but that gets us a ratio for this rectangle. And since it is the 4/3, our reciprocals are going to land just to the left and right of that vertical center line, and it's going to cross over, so we can aim towards that. It keeps us kind of aligned with this, because sometimes the long diagonals can get wobbly and you misalign it, but that looks a little better. And then you can parallel it, so just aim to this side of the opposite side of that center line, and we're just going to drag it across. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that looks like a 90-degree angle there, so that's good. And I'm going to run this up, and I'm going to create a 90-degree angle across this one, and I'm going to be on the opposite side of this center line, so maybe right here. Run that down, boom, just like that. And then we'll parallel that, go across the center line, and let's see, I'm a little off. There we go. I'm creating that T there, see that? This, and then this. All right, there's our grid. Let's do a little triangle. So the triangle is already setting up right here. We'll just keep this triangle as is. It's already created for us, so we'll just keep that intact. And that's good. And I'm gonna run an arabesque around this triangle to the ocean, and that'll be good. Come down here, run it back up. And I don't wanna make a figure 8, so I'll go down this horizontal center line, and come back up here, and then come down here. And I still created somewhat looping figure 8 there, but it's connected to this one. So we're coming around here, across the horizontal center line, up around this arabesque here, and then coming down. We'll make a loop down this way, and smooth that out a little bit. Loops down this way, circles around, and we can come out this way, and that's good enough. We'll create the ellipses. These are already filling in. That one's done, this one's done. Okay, so we got 4 ellipses and an arabesque, and that's fine. I'll leave the other techniques out because they're promoted by the grid. And we'll rock and roll. Let's lay in that triangle first. Oops, I pulled too hard on my brush. These brushes are so cheap, I swear. This is the second one I pulled like that just to wipe it off, and it fell apart completely. Make sure I don't get those anymore. A little Amazon special with the white wood handles. Try and steer clear of those. They're kind of cheap, as I'm finding out. I'm gonna try and not talk so much, just run with it. Blending these 2 layers, these 2 colors together, the light purple and the light blue. That way you can soften the edges if you want. Blend it out. See how soft it looks there? Keeping it nice and loose. Now I'm gonna make sure I get that triangle tip there. Let's go with, always put a red up here, but let's go with some green. We'll go inside the triangle. Let's go like this. I'm gonna blend it out to some yellow green. dollop of yellow in there. Very nice. Very, very nice. A little bit of pink. Got the edge of the triangle. Let's do it right on the tip. But in order to do that, I want a little bit more surface coverage of this purple. Lighter pink would look nice. The line's a little too perfect, the edge of that triangle, so I'm just breaking it up a bit. Looking good. Let's go in, and since I'm on this ellipse, I want to complete it. We'll just go up with some, let's see, do a little bit of blue, intense blue. Erase these construction lines. A little bit of intense blue there. And then go with some white. Okay, and I want to match it, so I might as well go over here on this ellipse and do something with the blue. All right, that ellipse is pretty much done. I want to erase the construction lines if there's any left. We'll make sure this bottom of the triangle is complete, and then we got to add a flower here. I'll probably add something with orange. Let's do this. I wonder if orange would look good. With that grayish red, I want to do maybe, I'll do this pink. I'll try something new. This pink. And then surrounded by yellow, but I want to complete this a little bit better. Make sure it's nice and dark, same, so that when I put the yellow on, it stands out nice. Just blend this out a little bit. Smudgy smudge. Okay, now let's add the yellow to that. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Mixing it with that lower level, so I got to add more paint. This brush is starting to not work so well. I'm gonna order some more Just want to make sure this yellow is surrounded by that grayish red. Doesn't have to look perfect. Just want to make sure it's surrounded though, like that. And we can go back in and add some of this to blend it out a little. All right, that one looks pretty nice. I haven't done that color ever. So let me add some dots, some darker dots. This is the ellipse here, so I can start working that into the design. Let's add a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna finish the bottom of the triangle. What do we need there? Let's do some green swoopy swoops, squiggles. And that's good. We'll come over here. That reciprocal was right here, so we can just add that. Remember, any mark you put on your canvas, you can create repeating diagonals. So like this major diagonal here, I can parallel that with this, squiggle it out. This ellipse is coming down this way, so I'm going to cover that up and then follow through with some colors. Let's go with some pinks, maybe. We'll get some dots going on. Maybe a couple yellow dots. Triangle's good. Ellipse, this ellipse down into the water, we'll have to fix that or complete that once we get into the water. Let me go back up here and finish this ellipse. Check the balance left to right. We've got a lot of red on this side, hardly any red on this side, so I'll add some red up this side here. And we can just do a little red squiggle. Okay, and I'll make that squigglier. There we go. And I'll add a little bit of white to it, next to it. So add some yellow dots maybe. And what would look good over there? Let's see, maybe some pink to accentuate and harmonize with this red. All right, let me go into the water and complete that the ellipse down there, the arabesque and the ellipse. And let's see. I'm just gonna create a little more paint on there. I'll go across with this lighter blue. Sometimes I gotta lift this up so I don't hit my palette and go straight across like this. And I'm squinting, just looking at the horizon line, making sure it's low contrast. It's looking good so far. Go back in with this color. And with that ellipse and arabesque, I'll just grab this color and accentuate it with it. That's good. Now I'll go back in and add some white and maybe a little bit of intense blue. I'll use the smaller one. Grab some of this intense blue, just a little bit. Looking nice, huh? We'll add a little bit of, we're gonna do white, but what else we want here? We'll add a little bit of pink, and we'll do this medium pink, just a touch. And we'll do it right over on this side. Maybe it'll pop that underlayer out a little bit. And I'll go over this area with the white. So I'm squinting, making sure it doesn't look too contrasty. It's pretty contrasty, but as long as it's not distracting, it's not on the edge. Soften this up a little bit, getting my fingers all up in this paint. Now let me go over this with some blue. Let's go, actually, let me use the green here. It's a little too popping, too contrasty, so you just knock it back a bit. There we go. And this one, squinting, I can use a little bit more. Let's use a little bit more on this right here. We add a couple touches of grayish yellow. It looks like I'm all out of grayish yellow, but we'll just do this. To get grayish yellow, you just mix the complementary color into it, and that's purple. See how it grayed down a little bit? Now we can add that to the water, just a touch. A little thicker touch maybe. Let's work on the edges, add some interest. Little green never hurt anything. Add some red on this other side here. I'm gonna cover up the construction lines. We're pretty much filled in everything. Actually, we have this ellipse here coming across this area. So let me keep that. All right, let me finish this ellipse off. What are we gonna add there, huh? Maybe some pinks, because the underlayer has dark red, so maybe this pink will make it stand out nice. It does. So let's add some more blue to cover this up. All right, now I will add some pink dots. Squinting, looking at this. I want to soften this edge right over here. Let's see if we can do this and soften that just a touch. All right, this looks a little obvious, the arabesque and the ellipse there. So I'm gonna make this go out a little bit to just add some interest outward. We're gonna add some of the teal green. We're gonna add some of the teal green. Let's do that real quick with the palette knife. Do it on the shoreline first, the horizon line. I'll add a couple dots around the composition. You can see how this intense blue with the white and that teal green looks pretty good together. I'm gonna do one right here. That green is surrounded by the grayish red. Looks pretty nice. And to help that, let me go see how the contrast is better here than here. I'm gonna go around that and make sure it's the same value and then fade it out. Okay, now I can fade it out. All right, let me just double check. We need a little bit of interest here and have a lot of white really. Usually we have white flowers, so let me add a white flower here. And we'll put a little orange inside of it. Let's just do this. Let's do some white here. We'll do some yellow inside. Let's accentuate that with a little bit of green maybe. All right, let's color check, see what this is looking like. I'm gonna use my hands down here real quick, see if I can notice anything. Could probably add some interest over on the right side here, some pink. Which means I'll add it to the left. And let's see here. Add a little bit of interest here, maybe some red. Okay, let's look at that. Looking pretty good. Nice colors. Could probably add maybe, let's add a little bit of white maybe. Let's go with just some squiggles of white here. This looks pretty nice down here. Over here looks pretty nice. Let me add a little dark green over here. Just making sure it's not too like obvious or contrasty. Just a little dot, that's all I want. All right, let's keep going around. Looks pretty good, huh? Could add maybe a little touch of blue on the top there, and we'll do it over here. And this looks good. I'll just add a little interest right here. And that, we could probably add some teal green there. Just a few little dots. Add some interest there. I'm gonna add just a dollop of white right in here, right in this pink one right here. That's the lighter pink here, so let's do another. I'll do a little bit of white inside that. That looks nice with the red next to it. All right, let me double check this again. I'll go over this area with some aqua blue. All right, how we looking? Contemplating on whether I should add a red dot on the inside of that. Let's see. It might look good. I'm gonna go for it. There we go. Smooth this out just a bit. Yeah, I like it. I'm noticing this triangle still a little obvious, so I'm going to scratch into that a little bit and mislead the eyes just a touch with the green here. That's better for me. Let's do something dark. This one. We'll do a dot right here. And then I'll add a little pink spot on that. Light pink? Sure, why not? All right, I like that. All right, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what else you guys want to see. I like doing these little different color combinations, and we can do a whole theme of color, like all green, all yellow. I just did it all yellow one. Could do all red again. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to check out the website. We've got all kinds of things on there to help artists surpass their plateau and reach the master level, master composition and color and all that good stuff. But that's it for this one. I appreciate all the support, and I'll talk to you guys later.